Hi students, good morning to you all. This is Radhakrishna. Now we are moving to the chemical properties of alkali metals. How the alkali metals are reacted with others. We are discussing now this video. So now coming to the chemical properties of alkali metals. The first one is reaction with air. Why alkali metals are reaction with air? What happens when alkali metals are reacted with air? We are discussing now. Generally, alkali metals are tarnished. Generally, alkali metals are tarnished in presence of air. What is the meaning of tarnished? So, to change their color. To change their color means, okay, tarnished. Because of formation of oxides. Because of formation of oxides, alkali metals are tarnished in its color, okay, in presence of air. Due to the high reactivity of alkali metals, due to the high reactivity of alkali metals towards air, due to the high reactivity of alkali metals towards air, these except lithium, these are placed, okay, except lithium, these are placed in kerosene. Okay, highly important point. Okay, except lithium, okay, all these are placed in kerosene because due to the high reactivity of air, not only air and water also. Okay, not only air, water also. Okay, due to the high reactivity of alkali metals towards air and water, except lithium, all these are placed in kerosene. All these are placed in kerosene. But lithium, okay, why lithium is not stored in kerosene? Why lithium is not stored in kerosene? Because lithium is lighter than kerosene. Lithium is lighter than kerosene. That's why it is kept in paraffin oils. Okay, that's why it is placed or kept in paraffin oil. This is the storage of alkali metals. Because of the reactivity of strong reactivity or high reactivity of alkali metals towards air and water, these are not placed freely in the atmosphere. Okay, because of high reactivity. That's why all alkali metals except lithium are placed in kerosene. Okay, why lithium is not placed in kerosene? Because lithium is lighter than kerosene. That's why it is kept in the paraffin oils. It is kept in the paraffin oils. Okay, so the next one is, okay, lithium. Among all alkali metals, lithium can form both oxides as well as nitrides. Most important point. Okay, lithium can form both oxides as well as nitrates when react with dry air. Important condition. Okay, for all alkali metals. Okay, lithium form both oxides as well as nitrides when react with dry air. When react with dry air. But remaining alkali metals can form oxides only. Can form oxides only. Now the next point is the reactivity order of alkali metals towards air. reactivity order. Okay, so reactivity order is lithium followed lithium less than, sodium less than, potassium less than, rubidium less than, cesium. This is the order of reactivity towards air, towards air. So now coming to the lithium compound, when lithium reacts with dry air, okay, lithium reacts with dry air. Now I am writing that when lithium reacts with oxygen, that means dry air, it forms monoxides, which are normal oxides. These are normal oxides. And similarly, when lithium reacts with dry air, that means nitrogen, they forms lithium nitrides. Lithium nitrates. When lithium reacts with the dry air, they forms both lithium oxides as well as lithium nitrates. These oxides are called normal oxides. When in case of sodium, okay, in case of oxygen, the product depends on the supply of oxygen. But we are taking sodium when we are applying oxygen in limit. We are supplying oxygen in limit conditions. They are formed normal oxides. But when lithium reacted oxygen in excess conditions, they form peroxides. Important condition. When sodium reacts with oxygen in limit addition, that means limit percentage, okay, we are obtaining normal oxygen. But we are supplying oxygen in excess condition, sodium forms peroxides. In case of potassium, rubidium, cesium. In case of potassium, rubidium, cesium, they form superoxides. I am writing monoxides, normal oxides, as well as peroxides, as well as superoxides. So when coming to the normal oxides, okay, normal oxides, the oxygen is in -2 state. Okay, most important condition, when in case of normal oxides, the oxygen atom is in -2 condition, -2 oxidation state. But when coming to the peroxides, it is also the oxygen atom is in O-2 state, okay, in normal oxides. But when coming to the peroxides, it is O2 minus. So that means here has oxygen, and here the -1, here the -1. It is the structure for peroxides. It is the normal oxides and its oxidation state O-2. O minus 2. But when case of peroxides, it is O2 minus 2. That is the oxidation state. Oxygen has a single bond linkages, and this oxygen has minus 1 and other oxygen has minus 1. When coming to the superoxides, okay, the oxidation state is O2 minus 1. The oxidation state for superoxides is O2 minus 1. Now, okay, these superoxides, paramagnetic in nature, and okay, these superoxides paramagnetic in nature, and those are color compounds. And these superoxides are stable in case of large cations only. Superoxides are paramagnetic in nature, and the compounds which are formed superoxides are colored compounds, and these superoxides especially stable in case of large cations. That's why these are formed with potassium, rubidium, and cesium. Okay, the formation of potassium, rubidium, cesium superoxides is M plus O2 will gives rise to MO2. Where M is potassium, rubidium, and cesium. Okay. Now the next point. So the order of stability of oxides. Okay, so normal oxides, greater than peroxides, greater than superoxides. The stability order for oxides is generally normal oxides are highly stable, which are high stable than peroxides, which are high stable than superoxides. Now coming to the stability order of normal oxides. Okay, so the order of stability of normal oxides is Li2O less than Na2O less than K2O less than Rb2O less than CS2O. This is the stability order for normal oxides. In case of peroxides, so Na2O2 less than K2O2 less than Rb2O2 less than CS2O2. This is the stability order for peroxides. In case of superoxides, the stability order is KO2 less than RbO2 less than CSO2. This is the stability order for superoxides. I am discussing normal oxide stability as well as peroxide stability as well as superoxide stability. Reactivity order. The reactivity order of alkali metals in case towards reaction with dry air is lithium is less reactive, followed by sodium, followed by potassium, followed by rubidium, followed by cesium, followed by cesium. This is the reactivity order. Reactivity order of alkali metals towards the, but in case of moist air, we are already discussing in dry air. Okay, dry air means which is absent of water molecule, so generally alkali metals forms oxides only. Okay, but in case of moist air, alkali metals can form carbonates. Important condition. Okay, so we are discussing in dry air, generally alkali metals forms, okay, oxides only, either normal oxides or peroxides or superoxides as well as, okay, but when coming to the moist air, okay, alkali metals can form carbonates only, So now coming to the reaction, I am taking any example. Let us take it is as a M plus reacted with oxygen. So two molecules of M2O, okay, when it is reacted with in case of water molecule, okay, so two molecules of MOH is formed. Okay, so next when these are reacted with carbon dioxide, so it forms M2CO3, plus hydrogens. So this is carbonate compound. So when alkali metals reacted with moist air, it forms carbonate, and the reactions are as follows, where M is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. So this is the reaction of alkali metals with air. Now the second chemical property of alkali metals is reaction with water. Okay, so alkali metals reacted with water and forms hydroxides. We are already discussing in physical properties of alkali metals. Okay, these are formed hydroxides which are in alkali nature, that means basic nature. So when these are reacted with water, it forms hydroxides with the liberation of hydrogen. This reaction takes place vigorously. So it means the reaction takes place very spontaneous, and it is exothermic reaction. Generally reactions are classified into two types. So one is exothermic and the second one is endothermic. First one is exothermic, second one is endothermic. If the reaction takes place and it gives heat outside, it gives heat to the surroundings, then it is exothermic reaction. But when the reaction takes place and it takes heat from the surroundings, it takes heat from the surroundings. Those reactions are called endothermic reaction. I will give one example. The melting of ice is an endothermic reaction. When we are taking ice in our hand and it is easily undergo melt, that what is the process takes place in this condition is, okay, so the ice can take temperature from the body and converts into liquid state. That's why we are feeling it is cold. That's why we are feeling it is cold. So those reactions are called endothermic reactions, which are taking energy from the surroundings, energy or heat, whatever it may be, it will take from the surroundings. Those reactions are called endothermic reactions. And if they are giving to the surroundings either heat or energy, those are called exothermic reactions. These reactions are exothermic reactions. They are giving heat to the surroundings. Heat to the surroundings. The reactivity order is, lithium is less reactive with water. Lithium followed by sodium, followed by potassium, followed by rubidium, followed by cesium. The chemical reaction which is takes place in this reaction is when two molecules of metal atom will reacted with the two molecules of water. It will takes place two molecules of MOH plus hydrogen gas is liberated. So the symbol which is upward arrow indicates it is a gas molecule. It is a gas molecule. The symbol, the arrow symbol which is in horizontal direction takes place in liquid condition. But when we are take a downward arrow, it indicates solid condition. It indicates solid condition. Here liberation of hydrogen takes place. Okay. The H2 liberation, the hydrogen liberation takes place okay, the H2 liberation is also takes place not only reacted with water. When alkali metals reacted with proton donors like alcohols, carboxylic acids, terminal alkynes, all these are produces hydrogen. All these are produces hydrogen. I am taking one example. This is the reaction. When two molecules of ethyl alcohol reacted with two lithium atoms, it forms sodium ethoxide. The name of that chemical is sodium ethoxide, which is produces hydrogen gas. Which is produces hydrogen gas. And the stability order. Stability as well as basicity or basic strength. Hydroxides of alkali metals is, okay, so lithium hydroxide is less stable, followed by sodium hydroxide, followed by potassium hydroxide, followed by rubidium hydroxide, followed by cesium hydroxide. This is the order of stability as well as basic strength of hydroxides of alkali metals. Lithium hydroxide less than, followed by sodium hydroxide, which is followed by potassium hydroxide, which is less than rubidium hydroxide, and less than cesium hydroxide. Okay, coming to the next point. So the reaction with water increasingly violent, on moving down the group. On moving down the group from lithium to cesium, the reaction with water going violently. Suppose I am taking lithium, it is less reactive. If I am taking sodium, it is vigorously reacted. When I am taking potassium, it is reacts with flame. That means when we are taking potassium and add to the water, it gives flame. But when we are taking sodium and added with water, then the takes place violently. And in case of rubidium as well as cesium, it is explosive. Actually, all alkali metals are explosive with water, but under some extent. So lithium is less reactive with water, sodium is vigorously reacted, potassium reacted with water with flame. But when we are coming to the rubidium and cesium, these are explosively reacted with water. This is the reaction of water with alkali metals.